Oh, forgot to take that off. Rookie error. Rookie error. My bad. Good evening. Good morning. That was a rookie error, wasn't it? That wasn't 8 years of this. Jesus. What was that? Rookie error. Jesus. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, your eyes do not deceive you. It is Thursday. It's morning. Because we'd already made plans this evening. So we weren't doing a show. I swear down, we were not doing a show. And then my phone lit up like a Christmas tree this morning. So I thought, right, bollocks, let's do a show. Rich had a rich rants in the WhatsApp group. So he's joining in a bit.
Little rant.
Jesus, little rant. Rodri shagged my daughter, my wife, my dog, my neighbour. Everything was coming out.
He was on fire.
Yeah. Good morning, Oz. How are you?
I'm not bad, mate. You?
I've had quieter mornings. By the way, did we win a trophy 3 days ago? I just want to double check we did before we all go into this hoopla. Oh, international break. You got to love it. Right. I get everyone's emotional. They're angry and blah, 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 blah. And what we're going to do today, we're going to give you fact from fiction. We'll give you our thoughts, but we're going to weigh through the rumours, the innuendos, the everything else. And we'll give you the facts. Yeah. And I know everyone doesn't like that, but it is. And this is not Martin was right, he was wrong. I don't give a shit who was right. You know we don't do this to go, I told you 6 months ago, even though I did do it to Rich earlier in the WhatsApp, which was quite funny. But yeah. Big up, by the way, my son, for the super chat straight away. $4.99. Big up, mate. I love Rodri, but he's a knob. What a way to kick it off. Madrid is our big rival. We play them every single year. And for Rodri to come out and twerk for him, he is a prick. Yeah, we'll try and refrain from swearing because we're still at 5 to 11 in the morning here in the UK. So, yeah. Yeah. Morning, Nick. Quiet morning. Yeah, we've got news on Gonzalez, Bernardo. I'm going to read you an email. Some parts of it I can't read. So we'll get into it. So, why are we here? Rodri's done an interview on international duty. I will get to comments. I promise you, I really do. Martin will find a way back to Rodri. Martin will find a way to back Rodri. Well, Timsy, when you say Nico G's better than Rodri, that's just silly. Let's not make stuff up because you're angry. Let's not. You'd be telling me Sean Goater's better than Haaland. Do you know what I mean? Let's not do this. Come on, guys. Let's be serious for a minute. Rodri shouldn't play for City again. I get the... Jesus. I get everyone's upset and they're angry. No, not the time, mate. Not the time. Seriously. I love you, mate, but come on. This is not the time to gloat about it, sunshine. Pierre is a Real Madrid fan. But he's in our chat every time, supporting. So big up, mate. Fans stuck through him through thick and thin, defended him every. Yep, I get it. Sell Rodri this summer. Your phone lit up like Christmas tree. I think mine's had an atomic bomb. You've had the same treatment this morning, then. Early doors, yeah, because we made plans tonight. Martin will find a way to say it's fine. What do you want me to say? I knew this was coming, so I'm not shocked. But it is what it is. It's football. It's football. Right. Why are we here? Oh, one thing before we even do anything. There was a rumour yesterday that Kevin Keegan was on his deathbed. Just want to clarify that. I don't know why I'm going all lecture here. What's going on here?
Your bad internet again.
Oh, what's going on?
Did you wind it up before you started?
No, hang on. Let me turn that off. Hey, right, we're back. It was that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Kevin Keegan is not on his deathbed. It was a social media hoax. Yes, he has got cancer, but he's not like going to pass away in the next week or two. I don't know where. So I don't know where it's come from. This has come out this morning that it was. I just want to get that out of the way before we even do. He's been diagnosed with public in January, as we know. I confirmed, writing on X, this is Graves, Peter Graves, who's a friend of Kevin Keegan's. I confirm that the statement is fake and not true. Kevin's treatment is underway and he's responding well. So please just be careful what you are reading on social media as well. This is one thing I will say on this. So just be careful. Right. Why are we here? Rodri dropped a bombshell. This is from the Daily Mail, Jack Garn, this morning. Manchester City midfielder Rodri has opened the doors for a future move to Real Madrid. Real have been long admirers of the Ballon d'Or winner, with suggestions that will test his result this summer, ramping up in the Spanish capital. Rodri does have 1 year in his deal, which we know. Not currently he is not in current negotiations of the contract. He's not. He's not signed it. So at the moment, talks are stalled. Talks initially put on ice and recovered. During a 48-minute interview with radio station Onda Cero, while on international duty, he said he will want a return to La Liga. And even as a former Atletico player, switching to the Bernabeu would not represent an issue. Now, these are the quotes. I would like to return. Obviously, he said, for me, La Liga is where I started. I still follow it. It's true, not as much as before, but I still follow it. And I have to admit that the Premier League is my weakness. I think it's thrilling league, but at the same time, very demanding, meaning it pushes you to the limit. I've been there for 7 years, and now I'm noticing the passage of time. But for the moment, I'm very happy there. Rodri signed for City, as we know, in 2019, laughed when Real's interest was put to him during the bad blood between him and Vinicius Jr. They wanted to pit us against each other, but I have a deep admiration for Vinicius, Rodri added. For me, you can't turn down the best clubs in the world. They have a fan base that goes all out for them. And for me, the Bernabeu is always incredible and a stadium that is very imposing. I have 1 year left on my contract there. Will come a point where we'll have to sit down and talk. I'm currently coming from injury, and what worries me right now is my feeling, my level, how to get back to my previous level, not the contract issue, that especially with the World Cup coming up, which is crucial. Asked him his past Atletico would preclude a transfer to Real. He said, no, I mean, there have been many, many players who've gone down that path, and especially not directly, but over time. So that's where we're at, basically. Ozzy, thoughts?
I mean, these things always drop during the international break, don't they? We were expecting 115. We still might.
That's you out tomorrow.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Final nail in the coffin. Yeah, it's not particularly great for players to make these type of statements when they're out on international duty, because, as again, these type of headlines will come up and it'll all be, well, he's off, isn't he? He's going in the summer. I think, I mean, we spoke about it before we started, that City were kind of in a 50-50 position where Rodri got injured, but he only had coming up to a year left of his contract. City have been trying to kind of support him and get him back to his best. But I think there's been negotiations kind of going on the background, but kind of City have kind of held back maybe on certain things and said, we don't want to kind of give you so much because you may not be the player that you once were going forward because of your injury. So we may not want to sign you into another 5-year deal, for just an example. They only may want a 2-3 deal, and Rodri wants a 4-year or 5-year deal. It can be certain things like that. So, it's all negotiating playing. So I think him to come out and make the statement either says, one, he's trying to kind of up the ante and get a better deal from City, which is in his right. It's what he can do and what other players do. I think the where it really sticks for City fans is that, as a lot of you put in the comments, is that, the whole kind of thing that happened with the Ballon d'Or, with the Real Madrid, basically didn't turn up, put a load of kind of shit on social media. Just the way they acted was a real stick and thorn. Like if it had been the other way around, City would have been villainized and turned around and said, how dare you disrespect Real Madrid as a club and Vinicius Junior. So I just think it's a bit of a City fans are understandably pissed off, because it's like, fine, if you want to get a better deal, but don't start linking yourself with Real Madrid. You could just have said, I'm leaving my options open. I've only got a year left. I'm going to have to see how things go, rather than kind of being laid so much with the Real Madrid talk. I think that is where it's upsetting most City fans, because at the end of the day, like, we can understand Rodri has been with us for so long and he's done so much for us. None of us are going to forget that goal to win us the Champions League, and to win us the treble, and all the other trophies that he's gone on and helped us got. No one can kind of turn around and say, if he wants to leave at the end of, coming to the end of his contract, then fine. If he's decided that, I've done everything I can, just like Mahrez did, just like, a few other players have done it in recent history, then you can kind of turn around and go, fine, fair enough, go with our blessing. You've done everything you can. Just don't do this, Rodri. Don't start making comments like this that are going to kind of hurt your reputation and going to kind of hurt what you've done for this club. It's not a good look, and I think it's something that a lot of fans may not forgive him for, in all honesty. So I think that's where I come from at this, is that I think he could have done it a lot better.
No, I agree. I don't think. Listen, I'm not going to have a go at him for leaving, because, again, I'm with you though. I think the interview is ill-timed, especially after a cup final and the way he celebrated on Sunday. I think that should have been kept quiet. He should have just done no comment. Because I'm going to be honest with you, we kind of knew. We kind of knew this was coming. We knew he wanted to go home. I know some fans have been ostriches and stuck your head in the sand, but you see, it depends. When you hear, like Jack Gordon says, the contract talks are on hold. They have spoke. He'd said he didn't want to do it now. That contract's been there for ages, so they just stopped talking. And all this fitness stuff. And I never bought it from day one. I didn't believe a lot of it. I think kind of people knew where we were going. We knew how this was going to end. It is what it is. My thing that's upset me is, and I will go into it later on, there's going to be there's been a knock-on effect into this, because you mentioned it a few weeks back. We're probably, because we've called it midfield overhaul, I don't think Rodri will be the only one who does go.
No.
I think Nico G will probably go as well, because we've basically sacrificed Nico G, sadly, to get Rodri to sign a deal. It's probably,
which is why I said
it's come back to bite in the ass.
And this is what City did. They decided to gamble everything on Rodri, get him back to his full best, hoping that he would get back to his full best, and then he would sign an extension to his contract.
Yes.
That looks like it may not happen. Now, it still could. We don't know for definite. It's not 100% in stone. But at the moment, it doesn't look particularly great when he's making comments like this, when he is in the final year of his contract. And
and we carried on that. It's the public version. It's doing it in public that I don't think has been the greatest way of doing it.
Yeah, and Rodri's always come across as someone who's very smart. He's not the typical kind of footballer, and this isn't an insult to typical footballers, but sometimes they don't always come across the best way, especially when they're in front of the camera. But Rodri is a very smart individual. We know that he's achieved so much outside of football academically. He's done business studies and finance, and so he's a very smart guy. So he knows what he's doing when he makes these type of comments. I think he is trying to either do one or two things for me. He's either trying to leverage City to make a better deal for him going forward to sign, or he is basically saying to City, my time's up. I want to find a way of kind of leaving. And as Pep has always said, if a player doesn't want to be at City, then they go. Do you know what I mean? I think the exception to that rule has been Bernardo.
The Nico G, by the way, I'll say my point. It's not just a footballing reason with Nico G. Either. Nico G is also. Listen, there's not. I'll say stuff and people just go, "Oh, it's bullshit" and everything else. These are human beings as well. They're not. I said something in a show 3 weeks ago. They're not Manchester City fans. I know we want them to be. We want them to be Manchester City fans and look at the club in the way we do and you do in the chat. They're not. It's a job. It's a job. It's like you going working, you come from England, or you come from India, or you come from America, or you come from Australia, you go and work away for 5 years. And then your dream job becomes available in the UK and you get to go home to family and get paid a load of money for it. You still have that affection for that country and that job you're in, but it's your chance to go back home. I think probably the way it's been done is probably not the best. I think that's what's going to work. Listen, if people want to boo him, whatever else, that's their choice. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to, people's opinions, I'm not going to stop people doing what they're doing. I'm no police in this. I won't do it. Because he gave me the greatest moment in my life when he stuck the ball in the net in Istanbul. So I can't just erase that out of my mind. I'm a gutted he's leaving, or likely to leave 100%. But the signs were there. Kept telling everyone, and Cade is one who would never listen to me on this when I said, Anderson is not the Bernardo replacement. And yesterday it came out, Anderson is not the Bernardo replacement. That came out yesterday. It was never going to be Anderson. Anderson was not going to be Bernardo's guy. But when you start getting linked with Anderson and Tonali and Baleba, where did we think this was going to end? We kind of knew the midfield had needed to be rebuilt. Did people think just all these names were appearing for the sake of names appearing? It was because we had to do something. we knew things were going to change probably. So we're trying to get ahead of the 8 ball. And I know that isn't what everyone wants to hear and see and everything else, but do you know what? It is what it is.
The thing is that, you know, with Pep and the way he plays, he's talked about he's always wanted a midfielder in every position. So that tells you enough that he relies on his midfield. That's how he dictates the play, is through the midfield. And, you know, we've been going through a rebuild over the last couple of seasons now. And the midfield is really where the next kind of summer market is going to be. We've all expected it. And I think summer may be a little bit more surprised that it may be more players go out the door than we realised. I think most people expected Kovacic to go. I think most people had thought Bernardo Silva was going to go. I think people, when it comes to Rodri, I think people thought he may stay, you know, because he's still relatively not that old. You know, he's still...
See, no, Torres, you can't do that. You can't just erase Rodri's moments now out the whole of the club.
We have to rebuild the midfield, and that is going to be a big task. It's going to be a big job, and that's why you just said, Martin, about the players we've been linked to. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure all those players we've been linked to are the right players coming in, but what I will say is that when you really truly look at the midfield, is that midfield may have to change the way we go on and play. We may not ever get a direct Rodri replacement, just like we've never been able to get a direct Aguero or a direct KDB replacement, because they just don't exist. You know, there isn't another Ballon d'Or Rodri out there. Nope. Because if there was, Real Madrid would have signed him, more than likely, or Barcelona would have signed him, or Bayern Munich, or, you know, there just isn't that player out there. So City now have to look at what those options are going forward. It may be that they play 2 CDMs in the back line going forward, rather than just the one where we've had Rodri do it. There are a number of ways that this midfield may change and may look going into next summer.
Good. Before I bring Elliot in, we've got a few more super chats. Good morning, Elliot, by the way. Hope you're well.
Fantastic, lads. Yourself?
Hey, how's the Yorkshire weather?
I'm not in Yorkshire, mate. I'm not in Yorkshire, but yeah, weather's nice today.
Are you away again? You on another holiday?
I'm in Scotland today working, so.
Oh, miserable, son.
Aye, that's it, man.
Can be nice. I'm going to Scotland twice this year. Stephen, thank you for your £5. Good morning, boys. You can celebrate that energy drink cup all you want, but Arsenal will be champions come May. Clip it. Time and place, Stephen. We love you, mate, but time and place. Read the room, mate. Can we have Declan? Amar, £5. Imagine getting on your knees for a player who basically does not want to be here. I thought it was club before players. Apparently not. Hashtag Vinny robbed. Who's getting on the knees? Who's getting on the knees about? Jesus. And Andre has become a YouTube member. Thank you so much. I'm not going to play the membership video, and they might wind everyone up. Elliot, go on. Talk about it.
Morning, Elliot.
I'm guessing you're on about Rodri. If I'm.
No, I was on about Kovacic myself.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you might have been on about Stones or maybe Bernardo or. Oh,
no one gives a shit about Stones going or Ake going. Or...
yeah, I'm all right with it, lads. I can't lie. I'm not. It don't faze me. I'm not bothered by it. It is what it is. It's football.
Is it because you kind of knew? Does it help?
I think there's that element to it. I mean, I don't think any players are loyal nowadays. I don't buy that myth. I mean, all you have to do is look at Trent at Liverpool. People maybe say, yeah, they left their contract too late, blah blah blah. But even still, Trent got offered the chance to stay at Liverpool, good money, and he didn't. So I don't think that there's any loyalties in football nowadays, if I'm honest. And that's just the way football's gone. Do you know what I mean? I get people being mad at it. I get the Ballon d'Or thing. I get the Real Madrid thing. I understand all that. I get the emotions, but ultimately, he doesn't. He's not a City fan. He's probably a Madrid fan. Probably if you probably deep dive into it, and you probably sit there. and speak to him, I wouldn't be shocked if he come out and said, "Oh yeah, I'm actually a Madrid fan," and no one's ever switched on to that one. But yeah, I get it. I understand it. I understand everyone's angry, and yeah, it's just the way it's gone. Ultimately, if I'm being totally honest with you,
Bad timing to do the interview.
Yeah, but I think if I'm honest, though, I think there was never going to be a good time of doing it, because even if he waits till the end of the season and then had a year left in his contract and then said that, people would still be, well, he's going to leave for free. We're not going to get any money for him. So he's in a sort of catch-22 situation with that one, to be honest. But I'm not. Yeah, but what I mean, Ozzy, is if he was to come out in the summer and say that, then everyone would be like, well, what do you mean you're going to Madrid in the next, so not this summer, the next summer after? Like you're going for free, and then that'd be the next thing. Everyone
should have got a replacement.
But then in all fairness, though, right, this is where I have to sort of, I'm not backing Rodri one little bit with this, but he has had an injury. I think it's easy for Rodri to come out and say, "Oh yeah, I want to play for Madrid," but then if he comes out and say, "I want to play for Madrid," and then he's nowhere near the level of what he's shown. Which, by the way, this might be a little bit of a bold statement, but I don't think Rodri's been nowhere near as good as what people made him out to be recently. Barring Wembley, when I thought he was pretty good, Ozzy. That's what I would say. Barring Wembley, but and this is what nobody's looked at, and nobody wants to look at this and face the facts of this. Why was it good at Wembley? Well, I'll tell you what to do, lads. Go on to SoccerScore, or go to Sky Sports, or whatever you want to go on, what apps you use. Look at Bernardo Silva's heat map and look where Bernardo Silva was on his heat map. It was down to Rodri. Why Rodri played that well was because Bernardo Silva stood by his side, and he didn't leave him exposed like he did in Madrid 2 weeks beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you earlier in the respect of that. Yes, he had a fantastic game at the weekend, winning the cup. But you think back to the last month before. Yes, he's had some good moments, but ultimately, I don't think he's the same player when he won the Ballon d'Or. I think he's still recovering. I still don't think he's anywhere near his best. Could he get back to his best? Possibly. But I think City, the way City have handled this is that it's been a 50-50, because I think they didn't want to completely go all in on him with a new contract, because they weren't sure how he was going to recover from the injury and if he was going to be anywhere close to being the player he was. And I think with a year to go on his contract, it may be that Rodri's looking at this and going, I've done everything I can at City. It's now time for me to look at where I might go next. And City are in the position where they've decided, well, yeah, let's get what we can for him this summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be. Let me just do these super chats, because I don't want to say something that's gonna rattle people. Jesus, Moan is here. By the way, big up, Andre, for giving you membership. Sorry, we've done that one, my bad. City Ferrari, Louis, thank you for the 26 months, my man. Hope you are well. MCFC, long time, Matt, and hope you guys doing well. Do you think we'll hold on firm on Rodri's price this summer? Will Madrid pay up? Also, does Pep potentially go in and fetch transfer targets like Anderson and others? Price 50-ish, I would imagine. I don't know. Will Madrid pay up? I think Madrid have already indicated. I don't think this is going on without Madrid knowing about it. Does Pep go in and affect other targets? No, because I think they'll have been informed. I like to think they will have been anyway. Listen, the club doesn't die when Pep leaves, and the club doesn't die when Rodri leaves. I just want to make that plain and adamant right now. We're not Rodri FC. We're not Pep Guardiola FC. These are legends of the club, and we'll always thank them, and they'll get a great send-off. Well, some will, some might not anymore. I don't actually know. Robertino, member for 8 months. Thank you so much. And Foggy, the legend that is Fogster, has gifted 10 channel memberships. You are amazing. Thank you so much, Fogger. Good morning, Rich. And good morning, Governor.
Good morning.
We're not.
Governing.
Go on then. How do you two feel? While I just stick some comments up.
Hang on, is Rich going first?
Sorry?
Are you going first, Rich? Had to be done.
Right. Yep. My comment is, in 40 years of football, or actually longer than that because I'm older than that, watching football, one of the worst, most disrespectful, embarrassing things I've ever seen in my life was the way Real Madrid treated Rodri. It was absolutely disgusting. And if he has got so little self-respect that he would even think about going there, we should stick him in the reserves and he can go tomorrow, because if he's got no respect for himself, I've got no respect for him. What he's doing is the equivalent of, your partner cheating on you with your parents, your siblings, your best mates, robbing you of all your money, putting up posters all over town, saying what a dick you are, and then saying, I'll have you back. Thank you. It's just embarrassing. And Rodri can go anywhere with my blessing, but if he goes to Real Madrid, fine for City. City get the most money wherever he goes. But if he goes there, he has got zero self-respect. He's embarrassing himself. He's embarrassing Spanish football, and it's done. And I don't want us to be part of that for the rest of the season, because that is we shouldn't be party to such an utter self-humiliation. And I've been one of Rodri's biggest fans, but he will be down there somewhere, a couple of places below Carlos Tevez in Manchester City footballers and my level of respect for them if he does that. So extreme reaction, but they were disgusting. They were embarrassing. And if he goes there, he's dead to me as a footballer.
Sorry, did you say Carlos Tevez levels?
Oh, he'll be down there with Carlos Tevez in City footballers who I have zero respect for.
Close to Yaya Touré levels?
No, I've got 1,000 times more respect for Yaya Touré than I have for Carlos Tevez.
Wow.
Can't hear you, Governor.
Governor, how'd you beat that? Go on. You're on mute,
Governor,
mate.
you muted yourself.
No, still on mute. Hang on.
I'm with you now.
There we
can
go.
hear you now.
It was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. What was it? At least 7 months before he was going to decide. So, you don't take that long. It's his boy-old club. I think all that is just head noise, media. He knows he's going back there. I mean, it might be a bit awkward in the dressing room. I don't know.
No. This is
know
the
what I
thing
mean?
we've got to stop. No. Players don't do that.
But we move on. We move on. He's been
Players
a
don't
best
do
for the
that.
club. Best midfielder in the world. We've had the best out of him, like we do with all the players. We get the best out of him and then they move on. That's the way it is.
We've got to realise is, I keep saying this, players don't look at this like a job. They look at it like a job. They're not fans. I keep saying it, they're not fans.
Martin, if you were going for a job and one of the companies you worked for had called you a dick, said you weren't good at your job, had ruined the greatest moment in your career,
and then
and
you go
behaved
there.
like they did, would you go and work for that company? No. No one with any self-respect would go to a company who had treated them like Madrid treated him. That was one of the greatest moments. That would have been the greatest moment in his life. That was one of the greatest moments in Spanish football history. And they ruined it for the nation. They ruined it for him. And if he's got so little self-respect, he could even think about going there, then he doesn't deserve our respect.
You've got a point,
doesn't
Rich.
deserve our respect. He could go to Barcelona, and I'd be saying, go to Barcelona to get one over Madrid, prove a point against them. I'd respect that. He'd have my blessing. But if he does that, he's got so little self-respect. I can't respect him. It's just, yeah.
It's just rank at the end of the day.
I'd rather he joined the Scousers, to be honest.
This is why I will always respect Rich. Hashtag
That's a bit much, that.
I mean, I don't want F. Rodri or the
respecting
Rich. I think respecting Rich is a bit much as well myself. Thank you, Amar. Rich Cook. Why would Rodri do this? He's not slept with your wives, guys. Sell him.
This is the footballing equivalent of everyone, the whole team sleep with his wife and then saying, oh, that's fine, come back. I mean, it's just, yeah.
Carlos Tevez is way above Rodri. Briggsy says immediate reaction, but surely you don't mean that, Rich.
No, I do. I do mean it. I think they were absolutely disgusting to him. I thought their behaviour is one of the worst things I've seen in 5 decades watching football.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
For lack of class, lack of sporting integrity, and the way the players around Vinicius behaved was disgusting.
Yeah. No one's bigger than the club.
I would have given Real Madrid a 10-year ban from all forms of the game for that, because that's worse than 115. It was just disgusting. It belittled football, and it belittled football. And if he can honestly think I can go and play for the CEO and chairman who supported that and drove that alongside the players who said what they did, then that's not a normal human being. That's someone without any emotion, any self-respect. It's just wrong. But
our questions have been answered now, where we're asking questions that who's our midfield going to be in the summer, who are they going for? Now we know. We can go for the players that we want now. That was the big question, and Rodri won it. Yeah. So now we can move on.
We can move on, Governor, but it's who do we move on to and who stays in that midfield.
So is there no way back for Rodri? If Rodri comes out and signs an extension, then
for Richard,
if he signs an extension and never signs, if he never signs for Real Madrid,
so then you're his best mate, Rich. Now you're his best mate and he's a club legend again.
No. If he signs I'm saying if he signs for Real Madrid, that is how I'll feel. He hasn't signed for Real Madrid. I'm saying if he does, that is my view on it. If this is all just speculation and nonsense, and he signs 3 more years for City and then goes back and plays,
it's not speculation. He's actually made the quotes, Rich. He's made the quotes.
Well, he said what he said what he did, and you can, but when he's talking to the Spanish media, he's got to be incredibly careful about what he says.
In that interview, though, it does sound like, is there a way he's potentially worried about his injury? Because he does talk about the Premier League being a bit more, he loves it, but it's getting a bit more. In the way he was wording it was like, he's probably a bit, is he selling himself short for the Premier League moving forward? Is he saying, I can't do this Premier League week?
Well, he knows how he feels. And as I said,
that's what I'm saying. Maybe physically he can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not disrespecting him leaving City. I think it's quite possible him leaving City, for him going back to the country he's from, is fine. I would be deeply upset with him if he went to Real Madrid. That's all.
Well, why
Barcelona, Atletico, Paris Saint-Germain,
But why?
I'd respect those moves.
Why would you be upset though, Rich? Sorry, I'll just come in and then jump straight back in on this. Why would you be upset though? Because if you was at Real Madrid and then City come in for you, you're good to City.
Because the way that club treated him, if he
that's football, mate. That's football. You know that, Rich.
No,
that's football.
I've not seen a club ever in my life behave like that to a player from their countries won the Ballon d'Or. I've never seen a Ballon d'Or winner treat like that. I think it was disgusting. And I think that's way beyond anything I've seen a club treat another club's player. Way beyond it.
I cannot understand how you're shocked that Real Madrid's acted like that. That baffles me. The fact you don't think Real Madrid have got that in them, it just
I don't think Rich thinks it's not in them. I think it's a shame it's come to that.
I thought it was absolutely disgusting of them. I've said I'd have banned them from football for 10 years for the way they behaved. Their players should not be able to get FIFA awards or anything, till like 2097. I mean,
you shouldn't boycott, should you?
No,
it was embarrassing. It was utterly embarrassing, and it was worse because he was a Spanish player. First Spanish player in 50 years to win it. It was a huge moment for Spain. He'd led Spain's team for a year. And it was just disgusting. And if he's
I'm coming to that, Briggs. I'm coming to that. So Briggs' comment there, and this is to the whole panel. Some haven't given up on the title race. Are we really going to start booing Rodri and ditching him out for the rest of the season? And
I was going to ask that question.
Chuck the title in the bin then?
Well, I wouldn't play Rodri. I wouldn't play Rodri if he's open to leaving, to be honest.
Yeah, you play him every game.
Yeah, I'd put a bit of strain on his
But,
ACL.
before you
Jesus,
turned
you
around
have
and said,
to give injuries out to him now, Rich. Jesus, man. When did you turn into Alan?
Well, no, I just there are certain things in
Oh,
life.
Rich, you wish an injury. No, Rich, come
No,
on.
I don't wish injury on him.
You
But,
don't wish it.
but what I'm saying is that what Real Madrid did was one of the most disgusting things I've seen in football. And if he can go there after that, he's not a player worthy to be a City player.
Because he's not happy being on the bench, Callum.
I understand
He's
your
not
point,
even
Rich.
bench,
It's
Callum.
bang on. But, you know, I'd play him every game now. Play him right to the end.
I don't think why, but why would you play a player who doesn't want to be there? What beneficials are you getting out of that?
He's there. He can't do nothing about it. He's there.
Yeah, no, but you're playing a
hang
player
on
that
a
doesn't
minute.
want to be there. That's like you're going into work when you don't want to be there. Your effort's naturally not going to be there.
but also,
Yeah,
Elliot,
I mean,
you said, Elliot, before you left before, you said,
Yeah, sorry,
Rodri
yeah.
hasn't particularly been at his best.
This is what I mean. So we're chucking the title in the bin now, potentially, and just to prove a point here.
Sorry, you were saying, mate.
I was saying, before you left you said
Yeah.
Rodri hasn't been at his best, apart from obviously winning the Carabao Cup at the weekend. Yeah, he hasn't been at his best. He's not fully at his best. So why would you continue to play a player that's not at his best and may not come back to being his best? Is it time to think about looking at midfield going forward for the rest of the season?
Yeah. No, I'm on that boat, mate. I get Governor and Richard's anger and points on what they make. I understand it all, but for me, I wouldn't. If a team come out against Liverpool and Nikoji was in the midfield and Rodri was on the bench, I would not start crying. I won't start getting worried.
Yeah, but that would be about you thinking that Nico G has done as much this season playing as Rodri has to deserve his place. So that's
I just think well, I mean, if you're going,
we should play our best 11.
Stuff, really.
Yeah.
Well, hang on a minute, Rich.
But I mean, if you're going off the factually stuff, then Nikoji's got a better win rate. Nikoji's got a better win rate at the minute with us than what Rodri has.
Yeah, because if you look at the
this going off of the actual factual stats,
Nico G was one of our best players going into the first beginning parts of the season.
I think he's been treated badly by us. Yeah, no, Ozzy. I was Nico G's number one fan. I rate him, and I think he's been treated really badly by us. And I think he's been treated really. He's the victim of Rodri flirting his eyelashes at the person who cheated on him, and Nico G getting dumped when he didn't really deserve to be dumped.
And by the way, Pat, I'm not saying I haven't, but my point is, some City fans still think the title is a possibility.
Yeah, me.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to bin that off?
How would you bin it off, Martin?
And by the way, Hamburg, no, stop that. I'm not going to allow people to say they want injuries to players. So, Hamburg, you're not even a City fan, mate.
I know, he's on one.
How are we going to lose the league, Martin, if we don't play Rodri? I don't understand that logic.
Because Rodri's better than Nico J.
But I don't know that he has been this season.
Let's not pretend he isn't.
Well,
let me argue.
Martin,
let me come back with you on that,
season,
Martin.
I think it's fair to say
Nico G don't want to be here.
Why would you
let me
put
put it Martin.
Nico G
dumped for a crock who wants to play for another team? I mean,
Martin,
Nico G's got every right to not want to be here. He's been treated a bit abysmally.
Oh, so we'll just play either of them. They both want to go, so we'll just fucking play A or B then.
1 minute here, 1 minute here, because
one of them wouldn't want to go if we hadn't shafted him.
There's a logical thing here, though, right? Because 1 minute, Martin, because you turned around the other day and said about Foden and Cherky playing together and how well it was working. Yes. Well, my question to you is, who was behind them?
Nico G.
Right. Yeah. So that was that was the best he was playing in attacking wise. Right. And then the next thing I'm going to say to you is, like I said when I come on about 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, why, and please tell me, why on Sunday did Bernardo Silva's heat map match up with the fact he was stood next to Rodri for 95% of the game, and it was one of Rodri's best performances since he's come back from injury. Yeah. Now, if that was Nico Gonzalez, you don't need Bernardo next to him. That's not Rodri's fault, by the way. That's just down to injuries. That's what happens with injuries. You're naturally not going to be as good as what you were before you got an injury. You look at Van Dijk. Look at Van Dijk now. He can't cover for Canate as probably as much as what he probably could do 5, 6, 7 years ago.
We've had the best out of him. You'd never get back to 100% again.
That's what I'm saying, Governor. That's
Listen,
why
Matt,
I'm.
look, I'm going to read you this email that I got. I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to name it. I'll just read it. Rodri news is now out in the open. This is not new news to City, as it has been for Rodri's position for a long time. So he's still been playing when City knew about this position, by the way, which we said here. And Elliot, you know that as well. This is not a shock to Manchester City. You know that. There is hope he'll sign a contract. Club and Pep are desperate, but it's highly unlikely as he wants to go home. Told you this months ago. Nico J, he's been sacrificed to keep Rodri happy, which again, Elliot, you know that. You mentioned that as well. No one is dropping Rodri, and it's either Rodri or Nico J on the pitch, but highly unlikely we're going to see them play together, which is what Pep said. On Bernardo and Rodri leaving at the same time has a massive impact at the club. Said previously, one or the other to leave, but not both. Club wants reported elsewhere is not fact. They would like Bernardo to say, we'll have to see what happens with that moving forward. More on Nico J. Let's hope he stays. Reasons outside of football for Nico J leaving but not playing doesn't help either. It would be a massive shame if come the summer all three leave.
I can understand Elliot, you know what I mean? Nico G might have seen his ass of how he's been treated. Do you know what I mean?
I think he's got every right to have seen his ass the way he's been treated.
That's right.
He's got every right to not want to play for Pep and not want to, you know, he's got every right. If he knows he's
going, is he going to change his tune and say, oh, you know, I'll go for it?
Rodri and Bernardo have got every right to move. Rodri just hasn't got the right to move to Real Madrid.
Do you remember a few weeks back, or even probably longer actually now, think about it, we were kind of all saying we'd like to see a midfield of Nico G and Rodri. And we haven't really seen that at all.
I always wanted to see
and I'm kind of wondering, why is that the case? Do you know what I mean? Because Pep's not even flirting with it. Pep won't do it. And I kind of wonder why, in all honesty. Is it because Nico G has seen his arse and has basically said a load of things that he's not happy with, and as Martin said, maybe he's flirting with the possibility.
It's hard to see when he played against Newcastle, he was brilliant. You know,
well, this is the argument me and Elliot are making that
he's played really well.
But this is the argument me and Elliot are making is that, in all honesty, Nico G at the beginning of the season was probably one of our best players.
Yeah,
going to the point of when Roger returned and was getting regular game time, I can't understand the logic of not trying to play a midfield with Nico G and Rodri. The big thing that comes to me.
He also played Rodri 3 times in a week when Rodri wasn't fit enough to do it.
The big thing that comes to me, Rich, is that I feel that Pep is making the mistake he did last season, where he's relying too much on the older players rather than transitioning into some of the new players like Nico G, Nico O'Reilly, you know, Cherky and Foden as the future of this midfield. He's basically and I can understand it because he's always turned around and said that these players that have come through with him and have achieved so much are like his kids in some respects. You know, he can't just drop them because he loves them so much.
As you know the saying, don't you?
Respect it.
As you know the saying, don't you, mate? Just to add on to your point, Pet's biggest strength is also his biggest weakness. Said it since day one. Loyal to too many players, and ultimately, they ain't going to be loyal to you because Rodri has got a playing career. Pep Guardiola has got a managerial career. A player can get a manager sacked, which you've seen at Chelsea in a click of a finger.
I think you're a bit right, Ozzy, but you're also being slightly unfair. Like Nico O'Reilly has played the most minutes after Haaland, and I think that they're saying that, you know, I heard it on a podcast the other day that Kuzanov's only about 2 games away from being our most minutes from a centre back.
But not in midfield, though, Rich. When it comes to
I think, and I actually think that Bernardo, 90% of the time this season, Bernardo's deserved his place. I think Bernardo is quietly having a really, really good season for us. But Bernardo wasn't brought in to replace someone who's playing really well. I think Nico Gonzalez has been really hard done by because he was, in good run before Christmas, was one of our top 2 or 3 players consistently. He was getting to a point where I thought he was playing better Gonzalez. I said it in about December. I thought he was playing better than Zubimendi, and Zubimendi was getting all this credit. He then got dropped when Rodri came back, and I thought that Pep would play Rodri a game, then play Gonzalez, and really. But once Rodri played, he pretty much played him for everything, and Nico G was just completely left out, which didn't make sense to me because there were some games Rodri was obviously too tired, and playing Nico G would have done Rodri good, let alone Nico G good. But Pep almost like, nah, I've got my Rodri back. I'm not going to play you, Nico G, even if you should be playing. So I think Nico G's got every right to think he's been completely unfairly treated.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's not too many other players in the team this season. I think. That's
okay,
fair.
can I ask you a question, Rich and Ozza?
Yeah,
I'm going down to Elliot. Right, you're Nico J. I agree. Right, why you? If Nico J is the guy they want, and I agree. I think he's been harshly treated. I think he's a good player. If he's the guy they want, why are they looking at like up to 5-6 midfield names?
Because
other people going and all, isn't there?
Other people going.
Yeah, they've written Kovacic off, Rodri going, Bernardo.
Right, so you bring in a Tonali, for example. Say you bring in Tonali Anderson. Are them two going to sit behind me?
But Tonali, but in fairness, right, so go further on. So go Wharton. I've seen Wharton, Belieber.
Or Belieber.
Belieber, Anderson and Tonali. In all fairness, Martin, one thing I will say with them players is that a lot of them players haven't just played as a deep line midfielder. They played also as a number 8.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, though, we're not going, for your comment, we're not going for project players. We're trying to buy the ready-made in players.
I mean,
they're not sitting on a bench.
To be honest, if we're signing like Belieber and Anderson are very, I think they're players we need for a number 8. I don't think they replace Rodri or Gonzalez, really.
I'd rather go for
maybe
Casado.
Could play that kind of deep lying building.
Casado.
Said that governor last week, didn't I?
Well, if you want an actual defensive, if you want a Makalele,
no, because it might lay in with what's being said. Because if Pets was to go, the main candidate who's being spoken about is Enzo Maresca. At Chelsea.
That's what I'm saying.
Everyone's loving a bit of the old.
That's not what we're saying. We're not on about Maresca though. We're on about Rodri.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
As a physical defensive midfielder, Casado's the best around. I don't know if he's not going to build attacks and everything like Nico G.
Well, you never know, Rich. You never know. Rich he is only 24, 25, Rich, in fairness.
Yeah.
He's got time to...
He's like, reminds me at times a bit like Makalele did, or Kante, real out-and-out proper defensive midfielder.
But by the way, I've seen Callum, I've seen the tweet. We talked about that a minute ago. I read it out in the email. It's funny how that email came as that tweet came out at the same time. City knew about this. This is not a shock to City. This was mapped and ready.
Maybe that's why I'm not as angry and as...
This is the tweet, by the way, for anyone who was just joined. Rodri's comments will not come as much of a surprise to senior City staff who have always thought he would like to end his career in Spain and one day want to return to Atletico or a move to Real. Rodri is said to have had a career plan that has mapped out several years ago.
So can I ask a question? If this has been, are you telling me that City knew about this, that he possibly would go in the summer? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. Yeah.
So why on earth would you rely so much heavily on Rodri and keep playing?
And screw over Nico.
You know the answer there, Ozzy.
Not our business.
You know the answer there.
I'm asking the question. That's all.
Yeah,
that's
the final warning. Are you going, mate?
Can I just say, is this the same situation as Marmoush before the AFCON and we didn't play him? Do you know what I mean? Why didn't we play Marmoush all the way up to AFCON and he would sat on the bench all that time? Is it the same situation?
I'm just going to get...
I don't think it's the same situation because I think Pep again relied on the players that he felt that were going to kind of his boys ultimately. And I don't think Mamouche was one of his boys quite clearly. Do you know what I mean? I think there are two separate kind of situations, really, Governor.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Thank you, Fogger. You beat me to it. No, I think Ozzy, you're not being naive. You're looking at it from a fan point of view than a club point of view.
No, I'm
the
asking
club's still a
question,
business. No, I'm not being disrespectful. I think the club is still looking at it from a business point of view. I don't think Elliot, me and you spoiled this privately, haven't we? They were never going to let him out on a free when they can still make money for him.
That's right. That's right.
And then go and spend 200 million
And
in
that's
someone on
Mark,
midfielders and get zero
That's right.
back for it.
Yeah.
They weren't going to do that.
And Martin,
That's
I
poor
think
business.
I think it's right City cash in. I've got no problem with City's
That's right.
side of this. In fact,
I
as far
think
as City
Pep wanted
concerned,
him to side. I think they were trying to make him change his mind by playing him. I think they were like, "Stay, you're loved. You don't need to go anywhere. Play, look."
that's stupid with a 30-year-old who's
gone
coming back from
wrong.
injury.
So after that statement,
it happens with all players that rich. All clubs and managers do that.
it's still Pep's.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I tell you my
Liverpool?
So
Liverpool
can
have cost
Rodri sit on
themselves
the
tens of
bench
millions
till the
with
end of the
their.
season? I
Liverpool
can't.
did it with
over
Trent.
Salah.
They didn't bench Trent.
No, that's right. He's not going to sit on the bench to the end of the season. There's no way.
No,
We're not in school. It's not a playground. Stand on the wall for 20
Maybe it
minutes.
should, but maybe it should, but maybe it should, because let me go into next season, right? So we all know what's coming next season. Rodri isn't going to sign a contract, and he's going to have a year left on his contract. We know what Real Madrid are the best at, getting players for free, right? So we need to ultimately now make a decision. We need to now ultimately make a decision where we say, right, going forward, if you are willing to stay, Rodri, you are not going to be included in the match day squad.
Why not let him go this
Sorry,
summer?
but no. But what I'm saying is, I'm saying.
I think what Elliot's saying is that Real Madrid will try and get him for free.
Try and get one for free.
Yeah. Big sign-on bonus to Rodri, so that goes into his back pocket.
To be fair, he'll be past 31 by then. So, I mean.
Yeah, would you want him round though, Rich? Would you want him round the squad?
No. But what I'm saying is, for Real Madrid, if they want to get Rodri, they want to get him now. You don't want to wait a year with the player over 30, or you're getting someone who is, even without the injury, he'd be starting to physically deteriorate that age. So, if Real Madrid want him,
can I just put this page put in the?
They want him now.
He did bench Trent. No, they didn't, mate. I've got his stats up. He had an ankle injury and he played the last 4 or 5 games. Played less minutes, but he did play.
And I've got no respect for.
He wasn't.
I've got no respect for Trent. He went out there and made such a big deal about how he's the greatest football team in the world. I'm a true Scouser to the bone. Everything's about
Speaking
Liverpool.
Spanish.
And the first bit of
that's different. He went
I don't
abroad.
respect that either.
Rodri's going home in his eyes.
Yeah.
He's going home.
He's going home to if he goes to Madrid. If he goes to Madrid, he's going home to a house where his parents told him he was shit. They don't want him. His brother's better, and we want you to piss off to another country. And he's going home saying, "Please, mummy and daddy, have me back. I know you think my little brother Vinicius is much better than me, but please." I mean,
can I ask a question? What are you more upset about, the interview or him leaving? Because we did a show 6 months ago, and people were happy about it. They were like, "Yeah, let him go."
No, I'm.
Or is it the destination?
I'm upset purely that someone I respected as a human being and a footballer would show the lack of character to go to Real Madrid. If he goes to Barcelona, 50 million, he goes with my blessing. If he goes to Atletico, he goes with my blessing. Probably not to another English club, to be fair. If he goes to PSG, he goes with my blessing. If he goes to Real Madrid, he has tarnished his legacy. He has shown that their lack of class and respect, he will still go cap in hand to it. And it's just a bit embarrassing. And,
I understand you, Rich. I understand where you're coming from, but with me, I'm the same as like no player is bigger than the club. If a player goes, he goes. We've had the best.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
They go. I don't care. I don't care where they go.
I'm upset about the interview. I'm not going to boo him though.
No,
I
that's
think
it.
I think we're all upset with the timing of the interview and what he said.
Yeah,
And I think,
shit.
I think we're
Weird,
all-
isn't it? It's weird.
Yeah, well, it's one of those. A lot of players do this on international duty. They say stuff to their local home media, and they will say to where they're playing in what league. So it's not unheard of. I mean, we just talked about.
Yeah, and
Trent.
he's talking to a Madrid media as well, who are
So
goading
I
him.
think
But
to
to be honest, Bernardo's been leaving for the past 5 seasons, and Bernardo has never gone into an
Okay, which
interview in
means
any
great
country.
segue, Rich. Would everyone like Bernardo to extend a year then?
I was just going to
Yeah.
say.
No.
2.
No, so you
No.
want to lose Rodri, potentially Nico G, Kovacic, and Bernardo in one window.
You don't mind
And
Bernardo going
Ake
back up?
and Stones.
Yeah.
Is it turn the light off at the end, last one? But with Chelsea FC.
Bernardo,
The maximum age is 22.
I love Bernardo. I love Bernardo. Short of John Stones, Bernardo's been my, one of my favourite City players since David Silva.
Who's the Unk? Does that make cushion off the Unk? It's cushion off the Unk now.
Haaland will be the Unk in the team.
Yeah, Haaland's the Unk.
Haaland and Nunes.
Haaland becomes the Unk at 25.
Foden.
Yeah.
How old's Diaz?
Oh, 28. Yeah, but people want to sell Diaz as well, don't they?
Yeah.
So the Diaz can go.
Diaz is going to have. Diaz is going to have problems getting in the team because I think Pep is starting to get the Kuzanov virus, like the fans, and with Gray and Guardiola on the left, Pep doesn't like Kuzanov as a fullback, even if I've thought that might be an idea. So Diaz might be getting dropped.
I agree.
I haven't answered the first question yet.
Oh, sorry, go on, and then we'll get to Felix. I've got a question here that's really going to put the cat amongst pigeons. Go on.
So my argument not to sign Rodri for an extension, to sign Bernardo for an extension, is the same reason I kind of argued and said that Liverpool shouldn't have extended Salah, is because the drop off at their age range is huge. Okay, you sign a player, and it's not all players, but most players around that age, the drop off is very quick, and then you're stuck with a player on big wages, and then you can't get rid of him as easily, and you can't get a replacement because you've kept Bernardo. There has to be a time where we have to move on from these players like Bernardo and Rodri. We moved on from Kev last season, and we moved on Fernandinho when the time was right. We have to just get it that these players are going to drop off and they're going to leave, and you make the right decision at the right time. Like with Rodri, it may be that he's never going to be the player he once was, and cashing in now on him is the better idea.
I'll flip
it.
That.
It may leave our midfield.
Flip that, Ozzy. If Liverpool had done what you said and dropped Salah when he was the age Bernardo is, they wouldn't have won the title last year.
No. I said last season.
No, Bernardo's younger than Salah. If Liverpool had sold Salah at Bernardo's age...
Rich, listen to what I said. Around those ages. I didn't say the exact age.
And Martin
I said around those ages.
Martin said offer him an extra year. Do you really
I'm only saying one more year. I'm not
do you think Bernardo's going to go rubbish in 12 months?
Yes.
Well, we're losing. Yeah, he could drop off,
He could do. I'm sorry. No, Rich, because if you looked at Salah was probably the best player last season. Do you know what I mean? He probably was the best player. Look at how he has dropped off like that. I'm sorry, Rich. It happens to any player.
Happened with KDB.
Yeah, but they're not the same age. They're not the same age. They're not the same kind of player.
Doesn't matter, Rich. It can happen very quickly.
So would you have? So you think Madrid should have sold Kroos and Modric when they were 30 and given up on those 3 Champions Leagues they won together in their 30s? I just think, players drop off, but you can't say we're going to get rid of every player at 30 because there's been a hell of a lot of players.
I didn't say that.
No,
I didn't.
No, you did.
That.
You said you wouldn't renew him for a year because he's going to drop off massively next season.
Rich, I think around that age, I think it's up to the player where he wants to go. I think we're lucky in a way where the players that, if they go, they're the players that want to go home. They're not going to play in the Premiership anymore. I think that's good for us that way, where they'll want to go home. So they're foreign players. Do you know what I mean?
I think also Rodri has also said it in that interview. he said that his levels are not quite Premier League levels. So that's saying something, because he may think that because of his injury, he's not going to be the same player going forward, and maybe going to a league like La Liga is going to be easier on his body.
Yeah.
And that's something I can kind of understand. So that's what I'm saying, Rich, is that it comes to a point where a player kind of knows they're coming to the end, maybe knows that they're not going to be the same player, and that's where the club and the player need to come together and make a good exit strategy, rather than trying to prolong and keep a player going like Liverpool did with Salah. You know, sometimes
I would have a 12-month extension, but I'm the same with Rich. I agree with Rich. They could just fall off.
Bernardo, but Bernardo next season is younger than Gundogan was in our treble season. Gundogan was probably almost at the best of his entire career in that treble season, because his maturity just made him exceptional as a footballer. And Bernardo, with respect, Salah is a player who athleticism and pace has been everything in his game. Bernardo is a player who everything has been up there. Bernardo's far more like a Modric or a Kroos. Now, Modric was playing at top level in European football at 36, 4.5, 5 years older than Bernardo is now. I think Bernardo is most likely going to have not quite as long as Modric, because he's played more football. But I think Bernardo's got 2-3 years left. And if we extend him 1 year, if we extend him 1 year, what financial risk is it for us? We lose him for free now, or we lose him for free in a year? We're not going to pay him $500,000 a week. We're going to pay him probably what he's on now. So there's no financial risk.
The thing I'd say, Rich, is that you look at someone like Modric.
Would you have kept KDB?
No, because at the end of the day, you look at someone like Modric. You said he was playing at the top of his league. Yes, he was, Rich. I totally agree with you. He was, bless. He was playing at the top of his league, but he was also playing in a league that's not as competitive and not as physically demanding as the Premier League. He was playing in La Liga. So most of the time, Liga, you have time on the ball, you can pass it around. Yeah. You don't get that in the Premier League.
He was 5 years older.
You burn off far quicker in the Premier League than you do in La Liga. That's why a lot of players are able to go longer in the league than they are in the Premier League.
So do you think we should have got rid of? Do you think we should have got rid of Fernandinho when he was 31? His best seasons happened after 31.
We bought him at 28.
Yeah, his best football happened older than Bernardo is now.
I know, Rich, but again, I'm not saying you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that every player at 29, 30 you get rid of. What I'm saying is that you sometimes have to look at that individual player and go, are they worth continuing with, knowing that they could drop off? And you have to manage it by every player.
Then how can you watch the way Silva's playing for us at the minute and say,
okay, you two could go at this for 20 minutes on WhatsApp. We can go on. We're going to do this for 25 minutes. My only, I hear both sides. My kickback is that's too much experience out the door in one lump. That's my worry of it. I'm not saying sign Bernardo to a 4-year deal. I'm just talking 1 year and playing less. My thing is, because it is my opinion.
Yeah, but we did that with Gundo when he came back from Barcelona, and he ended up playing more games.
But Governor, to be fair, the fan base was doing street parties when Gundo came back.
Yeah, and what happened was he got KDB and Rodri are out for the season pretty much, and he had to play football. We didn't want him to play.
And to be fair, when Gundo came back at the end of the season is what put us on that 11-12 game unbeaten run to get third in the league. Yeah. To be totally honest, because they know what they need to do. I'm not saying there's a right and a wrong in this. I just worry Ake, Stones, Rodri, Bernardo, bloody Kovacic, and all in one lump is a lot of experience gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I must admit,
we don't even know if Pep's going to be here yet. If Pep leaves as well, we're completely. I was joking the other day about rip down the foundation and rebuild back up again. I thought we were extending the stadium. I didn't know we were building this team up and back down and right up again. But is Elliot back?
I think the biggest challenge,
yeah.
Martin, when
Right, Elliot, I'm going to
Bernardo-
ask you a question. With all this, the speculation will come out, won't it? With everyone leaving,
Say again.
with everyone
again.
apparently wanting to leave, and you know the tea lady's left behind, you know what's questions going to come from everyone, don't you?
What's that then?
You know, don't play dumb.
Are we going to the non-league?
Because we're off down to non-league or whatever. But I am coming to the super chats in a minute.
You bring it on.
So, Elliot, do you think that they'll relegate two?
For your sake, bollocks, we've been relegated down to League Six.
So,
or
Elliot,
whatever.
do you think they'll relegate? Do you think they'll relegate two teams and let one team stay up in our place, or do you reckon they'll let the loser of the playoff final go up and have four promotions?
Martin, the worst scenario is all the umps go, and then Pep goes, and then the 115 comes in. That's the worst scenario ever, isn't it?
Hey, standards, governor, standards.
Come on.
Levels.
Keep them standards up.
Levels.
Listen, you know when I used to joke about opening my curtains and watching City on a field out back on a Sunday morning? That might come true. Drizzly Manchester with no missus or family flying his drone or back home in the sun with his family and starting a family. It's a no-brainer. That's someone mentioned that to me the other day. He's got no kids. So maybe he's waiting to go home and start a family.
In fact,
that when
he
goes home and his missus becomes pregnant.
Yeah, Barcelona and Athletic players can have kids.
Well, let me just do these super chats. Andre, thank you for the $5, my friend. Really do appreciate that. Mr. Perfecto, I'd sign Wharton, Elliot Anderson if Rodri leaves. I'd sell Kovacic, extend Bernardo for a year, take Kovacic spots in the squad. That's all I mean with it. Let Bernardo take Kovacic, and then somebody else comes in to take Bernardo. We've not even talked about Phil Foden yet. He's only got a year.
Depending on injuries.
Yeah.
Well, we're not even at Jesus Christ. You're making me cry. I'm starting to cry at all this news here. We won a trophy 4 days ago. Blue Cactus Bar, thank you. Modric still playing for Milan at 40.
You know, the one I genuinely think that of everyone, including Yaya, Silva, Company, everyone, I think Bernardo is going to be the hardest to replace, because I think Bernardo has been the glue to Pep from, you know, what is his second season in charge. Bernardo has been the tactical glue. He has understood Pep football more than any other player. He has played all over the pitch, and I think his loss more than any other player we've had will be harder to deal with. You know, for Pep, I think if Bernardo goes up, you know, I don't see Pep staying if Bernardo goes. In all honesty, because he's lost his glue, he's lost his navigation, he's lost his Google Maps. So, you know, I think with Bernardo, you know, Bernardo goes, you have to sign about 3 players to replace him. But unfortunately, they can't all play in his position because they take up 2 spots. So,
Rich,
I
players
think
come and go, mate. Players come
they
and
do.
I
don't think Pep's going to leave just because Bernardo leaves.
No, Pep's going to leave because Bernardo's going to leave because Pep's going to leave. More likely.
I don't believe it.
Well, I mean, you know, I thought 2 years ago, 1 year ago, Pep was going to sign a 2-year contract to leave after 1 and keep everyone quiet. And 10 years.
I'm joking, Andrew. I'm joking. Any news on Mafuna, Race, Echeverri, Hayes, Victor Hayes? The news is he's going to go on loan in the Premier League. Mikasa, don't know. Echeverri, I think he'll do a loan somewhere else. Don't know. Mafuna, I think he'll do a loan. I think all 4 will be back on loan. But we'll see. We shall see.
Might need him. Might need him at this rate.
Fucking yeah.
Okay,
do you think this is why it could be Maresca and this is why we're signing everyone 21 and under?
Yeah, now fine, man.
Yeah.
Is this why we're doing it? Are we doing the Maresca one? Have we gone to the Chelsea model?
I'll tell you what, the Watford fans, think of Maffini that he is the absolute dog's nuts.
Oh yeah, they love him.
Yeah.
Absolute, everything they say about him in the games and the journalists watching he is absolute class.
Listen, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being happy flappy. I don't know. But yeah, we lost Aguero, KDB, David, Company.
So the thing with KDB was, the thing with KDB was, I think, this may be strong. I see elements in Rodri's game with him like running and everything than with what I saw with KDB. I think
Slowing down.
Yeah, I just think it looks so slow. I mean, that game, when was it? At the Burnabout. Oh my god! I mean, I knew the team wasn't great, and I'd get all the tactics and everything. But Jesus, the way that Rodri was just like trying to run around that pitch, and I don't know because like we was up in the stand, and obviously you're quite high up at the Burnabout. But Jesus, he just looked like he was running porridge.
He's not the same player, is he, Albert?
No, he's not. And I think ultimately, I think if you get people around him, which I think Madrid will probably do, they'll probably get the likes of Valverde around him and maybe like Tchouaméni or Camavinga or these kind of players. I think he will be all right. But I just think at the minute in time, I think.
Well, if he goes to Madrid, he's playing in La Liga, where it's a slower league. They've got time on the ball.
Well,
the only times he'll have to have more of a bit of a pace about him is in a Champions League game. And in all honesty, he may play 60 minutes and then he may come off and be replaced by a Tchouaméni or somebody.
Good point.
So,
Good point.
Someone's just put the best tweet I've ever seen. It's not the best tweet, but it's like the sense of humour in it. Rodri leaves, Bernardo leaves, Stones leaves, Pep leaves, guilty of 115. Everyone have a great summer.
I know, yes. That's what I said.
Where you are going on holiday?
Yeah.
The thing is that going back to the point of losing such a lot of players and a lot of experience in the midfield, we've kind of done this to ourselves because we didn't going back 3-4 seasons ago, we didn't start the rebuild after the treble. So we're now suffering that a lot of these experienced players are coming to the end of their careers, and we have to accept that we have to rebuild, and we're going to lose some of that experience.
So question for you, Ozzy.
Oh, the rivals are loving it. Hang on. Troops has now tweeted out, we will be there for the collapse of these pricks. They're all out today. They're loving it.
It's a question and we talked about a bit back in 2024 that we could have rebuilt in 23. We might be better now, but we probably wouldn't have won the league in 24. Would we swap the history of 4 league titles on the trot to be in a better position now? Personally, being an old bugger, I'm glad we got the 4 seasons. And if we have to go through 3 seasons now to rebuild, we've done something that's never been done in English football. So I'm happy that the gamble not to rebuild at the end of 2023. I'm happy that the prize we got from it, which was 4 league titles, is worth the 24-25 season. And if we don't win it this year, because 4 titles may never be done again. So
I don't particularly disagree with your point, Rich. But what I would say is, I wouldn't give up the 4 leagues in a row. But what I would say is that you could still have started that rebuild, even if it was just one player. We didn't sign anybody after the treble, really. You know what I mean? And after the season after that, we didn't really sign anybody apart from Savinho. So for me, we could have started a little bit earlier. We're suffering for that.
We'd have dropped 2 points in one game. We didn't win the league. So had we made changes, it's pretty that affected the first 11. Which if we signed the players who were good enough to come in, it would have had to affect the first 11. The chances are we wouldn't have won the league. So it's
maybe
we'll never know ultimately. But I agree, we'd be in a better position now, no doubt, because we really suffered in 25 from getting that extra year out of everyone. But then, and if I was younger, maybe, I wouldn't think of the 4 titles in the row as quite as big as I do in the context of watching the great Liverpool side, the great United side, and some of the teams I watched in my life who never did 4 on the trot. But I'm not going to go back and regret it now because we got 4 titles, and that 4 consecutive titles is unbelievable. It's,
I agree with Rich.
football history.
I think going back to Martin's point of if you could get Bernardo Silva to sign a year extension and tell him, listen, you're going to be the Kovacic. Maybe you're going to play more on Kovacic just on this season.
Well, he hasn't played, but yeah,
exactly is what I'm saying.
You're going to be injured all year with a bad.
You may bring him in.
Heel.
You may bring him in for hopefully a few more games than Kovacic. But what I'm saying is that he will be the fourth choice, so to speak, in that midfield. Then fine. But in all honesty, I don't think Bernardo's going to agree to that deal.
Because I don't think you tell him he's going to be fourth choice. You say we're signing two more midfielders. You're fighting for
Nick Jackson.
The writing will be on the wall, though, Rich, let's be honest. As you said, you're not going to sign two midfielders, and Bernardo's going to look at that and go, well, where's my game time going to come in if you've just signed two new midfielders?
Thank you, Mr.
How many times did Real Madrid sign midfielders and Modric?
Let me just do this super chat. We're still playing. People have kindly donated for your beer fund. Rodri is still elite on the ball, hence how he kicked the ball around. For fun versus Arsenal, he's just off the ball. He's lost ability to cover others. No,
Can I just say this? So my brother's just sent me something through, right? And it's a picture of David Silva, and it's in 2017/18 season. And the quote says, "If you have second thoughts on playing for Man City, you are no longer a service to us." So you know when people are getting ranty about Rodri going to Madrid and he's going there, he's going there, it does not matter, because ultimately the main thing is for us is to support our football club, not to support Rodri, not to support Haaland. Because you know what's coming, by the way? Just get ready for it, because the next league will be Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
So just prepare yourself for it.
Afford him though, Elliot.
Well, they probably can't, governor, but at some point, someone probably will. I mean, I'd imagine part of Haaland's probably process is if it's not Real Madrid, it's obviously going to be something to do with the opening of the new camp. When it's fully open, it's fully done. It's fully done. That'll be the deadline news, won't it? I'd imagine. I think that's probably where it'll go. But no, I'm not. KDB, yeah. David Silva, yeah. Vinny, yeah, I get it. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's preparing myself for it. But for some reason, I'm not overly bothered about Rodri, to be honest.
No.
Maybe that's a little bit weird. I don't know, but I'm not. And maybe like me and Ozzy were saying before, obviously you, Governor, and Rich jumped on earlier on about the fact that with like Nico G and that maybe that's like a thing with it where we've always been that mould, haven't we? What we're going to do without Rodri, ACL against Arsenal. What we're going to do without Rodri, we had to fall off. What we're going to do about Rodri, and now I think we've seen flashes what we can do without him. And it's not an argument, is it really? Because people probably turn around and go, it's actual factual statement that his winning ratio with Nico Gonzalez this season is better than with Rodri. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Anyway, right, we're going to wrap up in a minute because I've got an appointment at 1 o'clock. I think
you're going to Madrid, yeah?
Yeah, I'm off to Madrid as well now, guys. Can't wait. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to have a great old time. But yeah, a couple of last few super chats. We'll be back tomorrow as well to go through all this. Go on, Ozzy.
Go on, what?
I'm waiting to read. Thank that person for their generosity.
Right, you're it, Martin.
Sujoy Senguta 8823. Thank you very much for your kind donation. Listen, I don't like getting people's names wrong. I apologize, but thank you so much for your kind generosity. Appreciate that. And Venom with the $4.99. Thank you. If he wants to go, let him go. KDB leaving hurt like hell. When Pep leaves, it will hurt. Rodri says he wants to go to Madrid. Let him go. Sit until I die. There you go. And listen, he may do a U-turn and he may stay. Pep may sign a 5-year deal. Everyone's happy and we all get it on.
Oh, don't gaslight people, Martin. Come on.
What are we just done? We've done this for nothing but Martin says something like that.
Everyone's gone doom and gloom. What is the contract situation with Rodri? He's got a year left, mate. Same as Foden's only got a year left.
Yeah, before you wrap up, I've only got
a year left.
Just a quick question for
no one's paying you
people.
out.
people in the chat as well, but for yous three, what if Rodri was to go and you'd have an ideal pick on you, like a CDM, who would you go for? Anyone?
I thought he was asking Martin.
Anyone of you?
Who would I go?
The player I like best is probably getting a bit old now. I like Bruno G. I like him better than Tonali.
You're going to upset Ozzy. You don't like anyone over the age of 28, 29.
He's probably too old now.
Jesus, Ozzy don't want him. Too old.
But I'd
900 mil.
I can't keep past Anderson myself.
I'd rather keep Rodri than sign 80 million, 90 million on Bruno G.
That's what I mean. He's too old now.
Would you go Bruno G over the likes of, like, obviously, like, going a bit dafty, like Vitinha, João Neves, Caicedo?
Can I be cheeky? What about being clever with Real Madrid then?
Don't say Valverde yet again, because I've had this off you about 6 times now.
Hang on a minute, right? Listen, I'm trying to keep standards up there when you're telling me.
Why would Valverde leave Real Madrid? What is he leaving Real Madrid for?
I wasn't going to say Valverde.
I'd love Valverde because I
wasn't going to say Valverde.
Martin was going to say.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's all right.
Camavinga.
I thought you were going to say.
Camavinga.
You were going to say one of the two.
Connor, behave. Valverde's shit. Behave, Connor. Connor, stop taking the drugs, mate.
I take Camavinga. Yeah, I would take Camavinga.
As long as it's not bloody. As long as we don't have pricks like Bellingham or Arnold coming anywhere near City, because then I'll be joining Jack and watching Coventry next year if we did.
Depends on the manager.
I'm just thinking, get a bit cute with Madrid, because like you just said, they may not want to pay the money. So all right, 30 mil. They give us 30 mil and Camavinga.
I don't think it'd be 30 mil and Camavinga.
All right, 20 million in Camavinga.
I don't think it'll be 20 mil. I think it'll be about 10, 15.
All right, well, 10 and 15 in Camavinga. Jesus Christ, Elliot. Elliot, you could never negotiate deals for me.
So don't you worry about me, mate.
Jesus,
he's a
well, he doesn't answer the phone. I tried ringing him this morning.
He's a decent player and he's 23 years old. So
he just ignored you, Elliot.
I'm in Scotland. I'm in Scotland. I told you that I'm in Scotland. I can't answer me when I'm in Scotland. Scotland.
Well, anyway, we'll talk about this more tomorrow. I'm sure.
Ozzy and Addy say it. Ozzy and Addy say it.
Oh, go on, Ozzy. Sorry, mate. Go on.
The governor.
He wants a 12-year-old from the Liverpool Academy.
Whoa, I'm so glad you put Academy on the end of that.
I'll answer that. I'll answer the question for you, Ross. It'll be João Neves won it from PSG.
I would love João Neves. We should have signed him when he was at Sporting.
João Neves, you'll get Andrew going in the chat. Andrew's going to put in the chat. I told you about João Neves. I was driving the train.
It was right.
I'm waiting for it.
It was right, to be honest.
I said it like 4 seasons.
All right, so you've said that now, Elliot, because you know exactly why you've said it.
What's that?
Yes, he's on the list.
Who?
The club will do the right thing.
What about if company comes in and he brings Kimmich?
João Neves. No, even that's too old for me now. That's too old for me.
Is it? You won't. You won't.
Yeah, what about Pavlovic?
Good player.
Look, here he goes. João Neves is the one I wanted earlier. He is on the list, Andrew. He is on the list.
I think Maresca and Caicedo.
I was going to say that.
Maresca.
I did say it depends on the manager.
Yeah.
Maresca's in my top 3.
He's not a player.
No, he's manager. I mean, he's in my top 3.
I have got an appointment. I'm trying to go, but he's asking more questions.
Yeah, what do you prefer on your toast? Nah, go on. I'll let you get off.
We'll carry on.
Yeah.
You want to carry on? I'll go and you can wrap it.
Jesus.
Do you lot want to carry on?
Come on, I'm here.
No, I'm being deadly serious. You want to carry on? Put yes or no in the chat if you want them to carry on.
But I won't be talking about the situation regarding a certain Spanish midfielder.
Because I can just piss off and I'll leave Ozzy in charge. Ozzy can end it. Right, no. Kane said no. Oh, slight on you there, Oz. No, we don't want Oz. By the way, this is tomorrow at 2 p.m. 90 minutes from me, Tone, and Big Steve. We will obviously discuss more of this tomorrow.
It's not Friday tomorrow, Martin. It's Thursday tomorrow.
It's Thursday today. Right, I'm going to leave then. I will let you decide. Bye, all. See you all tomorrow at 2 p.m. What are you leaving for? Ozzy's ending it. Ozzy's carrying on.
Apparently.
How about an hour special? Ozzy and me argue about Bernardo.
Yeah.
Come on then, Rich.
All right, see you then. Bye.
Yeah. You know, Bernardo's like John Stones. He can stay forever, regardless.
So let's be serious then. So who would be the ideal, let's say, two midfielders to come in the summer? Who are your two midfielders? You've named one, roughly, everybody, but who are your two midfielders to come in? Because I think the likeliness is, at the moment, let's be honest, Bernardo Silva and Rodri at the door. Who comes in?
Do we have to keep an eye on the home?
I think we need to sign at least 3. If Bernardo goes, we need to sign 3.
I think the homegrown situation is actually a thing, to be honest, still. I think because we're going to lose Ake, Stones.
Yeah.
There's somebody else I'm thinking we might lose. Oh, we might lose
Kovacic.
James Trafford.
Kovacic.
Yeah,
Kovacic. Oh, yeah. About Hungary.
Kovacic isn't included in the homegrown.
No.
What we were saying about before about Nico G seeing his arse with Rodri, it's the same with Trafford, isn't it? Same thing, same situation happened with Trafford, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's slightly different because a goalkeeper is a completely different position to an outfield player. So I think you can easily lose a goalkeeper and replace him a little bit.
They still did the dirty on him, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a completely different debate, isn't it, Governor? Really. So
I think that was the club, and I think the club did the dirty on Trafford. I think Pep did the dirty on Gonzalez.
Yeah, maybe.
Like in the club play a part in who you sign, and that's the football directors. And they made a decision, having given Trafford signed to be first team. They then flipped and they brought another keeper in. So that's a collective City shafted Trafford. I don't think the club, once the season started, they don't interfere with Pep picks. So if Gonzalez is screwed by someone, it's Pep and his coaching team, and that means Pep because Pep makes the call.
I partly think, though, as well, that, I mean, City could play slightly hardball, and if Rodri and Bernardo go, I think they can turn around to Nico G and say, you're under contract, you're not going unless
I said to Martin, I don't think anyone will pay. I don't think we should sell Nico G for less than about 60 million, 70 million, and I don't think someone will come in and pay that, especially with the way the economies are going to be going and the golf, which sponsors so much money into football.
Well, especially if it's Barcelona.
I think football is going to see a little squeeze coming in, and
maybe.
I don't think anyone will pay for Nico G what we'd want for him. So I think Nico G will end up staying, and
I do.
You know,
I think
although I think even if he stays, we need 2 midfielders. So
I think what is interesting though, you know, the Tonali link, obviously with the thing with Tonali, it's quite interesting because even if Pep was to go, which obviously I know it's rumoured around at the minute a little bit and stuff, but if Pep was to go, the Tonali thing would be interesting because if it was Maresca, he's Italian as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
So maybe
it's funny, I need to watch a bit more Tonali because I've just always watched Newcastle and thought Bruno's better than Tonali, and a lot of Newcastle fans I've talked to will say the same. Bruno's obviously quite a few years older. Casado's impressed me, apart from a few months when he first signed for Chelsea. I think he was brilliant at Brighton. You know, I've got a lot of mates who are Brighton season ticket holders said that Casado was out of class as a footballer, and he was always going to be the best player who left Brighton when he went on. So, you know, I think Elliot, a good call on Casado. I think as a defensive midfielder, he's probably the best one there is. He's not an all-round midfielder as much as Tonali is going forward or Rodri is, but Casado, if we've got defensive problems, we're playing a high line. Casado makes a huge difference.
And some managers sometimes do bring players back with them, don't they?
Yeah.
And you know, Casado could improve because Fernandinho was so much better footballer when he was, Pellegrini and then Pep. brought him on as a player. So Casado's young; he could improve. Same with Camavinga's not a bad call to get from Madrid because he's versatile. He's played 3 or 4 positions for Madrid. He's 23. He's a class player. So that's not a bad shout if you like. Give us 15 million in
that's
Camavinga.
on Viana, isn't it? Is it? Are we just going to do a deal?
The thing is for me with Tonali is that he's not a defensive midfielder, especially he hasn't been for Newcastle. He's more creative. He creates chances, and he has a few shots. He's not a direct replacement for Rodri. So that would be my issue with bringing Tonali, is that I think you'd ultimately have to look at changing the midfield going forward, is that you wouldn't have just a CDL. I think you may have to look at having a few. So that's why I would think, you'd look at Tonali and another, like an Anderson. That's, for me, that's what I look at, because I think you look at his stats, he's not a defensive midfielder for Newcastle.
And one player who I always, if you're saying you can have anyone, a player who I really wanted to play for Pep, who I think made a real mistake going to Klopp, despite what happened. I'd love to have seen McAllister with Pep managing him. I thought he had so much versatile talent that Pep could have turned him into, a midfield great. And I think Liverpool's kind of killing him. I think he's getting worse at Liverpool. Could a cheeky bid for him, when they're looking to recoup some money from all that, could you get
a lot of people said that his legs have gone, Rich. A lot of people said that his legs have gone now. I don't know whether that's down to
he's 27 though. I don't
know whether that's because they're just flogging him out a little bit. Yeah, I don't know whether that's because they're flogging him out a little bit like they did with Fabinho.
Yeah, I just think I think he's too good for them. They waste midfielders.
All them positions in the middle, and all them positions in the middle. That's what happens, doesn't it? It's the work rate.
Yeah. But he was one I thought he could have been like a Bernardo, going all around, doing different roles, slotting in next to the pivot, going up as an 8 or a 10. He had that kind of...
What do you think about Wharton then?
I like Wharton.
I like Wharton. I'll probably
want.
Time.
Sorry, Yeah, no, mate. I'm just gonna say I probably want Wharton over Anderson, to be honest. But that's just been my preference always. I've always thought that.
I'll go the other way.
I was in the Wharton over Anderson camp, but
I would, but I'd like Elliott for his physical presence.
I don't think. I think they're almost players who'd play together. I think they're different players. Wharton's gonna sit, build the game, sit back a lot more. Long passes, a bit like a deep line KDB or something. Whereas Elliott's got the legs to run all over and stuff. So I don't think with those two it's one or the other. I think they're different players.
I don't know whether any of you have seen it, but there's some news just broke on Rodri. Someone at Sky Sports, it says, Man City want Rodri to stay and agree a new contract at the club. And then I clicked on the article, but the article's at the top of the article, it says Manchester City are very much want to keep Rodri and agree a new contract with the midfielder who has today admitted he would one day like to return to La Liga and did not rule out Real Madrid just because he has to play for Atletico. So I don't know whether that's come from the club side of it and they tried pushing that out there. I don't know why that would be, but it says Sky Sports, so...
Just getting a drink.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how people feel about that, considering what he's come out and said. Maybe that's a little bit of a problem now with Rodri.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he hasn't helped himself, obviously, with his comments, and I think the club would want to still keep him because, again, it's not just business, but it's also looking at. They think he may be the player going forward that he fully recovers from his ACL and becomes still the Ballon d'Or player. I don't know, but I think from the club's point of view, they're always going to, as you guys were saying earlier, it's a business. They're always going to keep on. If they're going to keep bigging up their player, because ultimately, if he's going to go, they're going to want as much as they can in the summer for him.
Yeah.
So,
Elliot, I'm fine with Rodri if he signs for Real Madrid. And then I've got a problem with him. If he stays, if he goes and signs for Atletico or PSG or whatever, I've got no problem. If he turns out on a pitch in a Real Madrid shirt, other than a charity game when he's retired, then I'll have lost my respect for him. And I hope I
get
don't.
it. I get it. I get it.
I hope I hope he never
signs.
signs for them, and I don't lose my respect for him.
Mm.
Because I do get why in front of a Madrid press, if you're getting questions like, I've got no issue that he wants to go back and play in Spain. David Silva wants to go back and play in Spain. A lot of players want to go back and play. Bernardo wants to go and play in Portugal, and I've got no issue with that at all. I just have a problem if he signed for them. Any other of the 19 clubs in Spain, no issue.
I think going back to your point, Elliot, about who would come in, I agree. If I could, I'd probably sign Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton, because I think you could have England's midfield going forward for the next 10 years, kind of thing.
True.
You really could, because they're both fantastic players. I think Anderson is obviously the one that at the moment is up in the lights. I think he's been linked with pretty much every big club because he's done so well over the last couple of seasons. Wharton, I think with what's going on at Crystal Palace right now, I think the wheels have come off. So he's not looking as good as he once was, but I still think it's a hell of a player in there that you could still get. So I think with going back to the kind of the homegrown talent that we're going to need going forward, is go out and get both for City.
Yes.
If you're going to lose Rodri and Bernardo, go and get homegrown talent that are going to take you forward for the next 10 years.
Good point.
I just wonder if City see any of them as an actual holding midfielder, though. That's my only thing. And I get what you're saying about Nico Gonzalez, and I'd really like Nico to stay. Like I said earlier, when I think he's been unbelievable this season, to be honest. But I just wonder if Nico Gonzalez was to leave as well, could the club afford to not maybe get an actual number 6? So your likes of whether it's a Vitinha or a João Neves, who have played there a lot for maybe the clubs in the past or maybe now. Caicedo has obviously just played as a 6 majority of his career. Would the club do that? I'm not too sure. Would they try and make an Wharton into an actual 6 possibility? I'm just thinking outside. I'm just thinking more outside the box of who they maybe look at as playing as that lone 6.
The problem is also
with
those two is you haven't remotely replaced Bernardo. If those two come in and Bernardo stays, fine.
It's one of them, Rich,
those two come in, you've still got to go and find someone to replace Bernardo.
You're not going to get.
Are we ever going to do that though, mate? Are we ever going to do that though, Rich?
We've got to try.
I get that, and I think that's part of Foden's position this season. I think that's part of Pep's thinking with Foden this season. But I just think you're not going to do. I think the thing with Bernardo and KDB, which is going to hit us harder than the likes of maybe Gundo, Mahrez, these sort of players, Walker, is I don't think we can replace KDB and Bernardo.
Yeah,
I think we could replace other players.
Yeah,
the difference is
I think you're going to have to look at
KDB.
You're going to look.
Yeah, KDB.
I think you're going to look at changing the way we play. In all honesty, I don't. Yeah, as Elliot said, there isn't a Bernardo Silva replacement out there. If there was, trust me, other teams would be trying to sign him right now.
That's right.
Yeah, but the problem is, I'm not quite sure that Pep is really capable of changing the way he plays enough that losing Bernardo isn't going to affect us badly. So I do think that's the problem.
Well, is Pep going to be here though, Rich? That's the question, isn't it? Is Pep going to be here?
That's a different question. But Pep has had players of incredible tactical brilliance at City, at Barcelona, and at Bayern. He had some really clever players in Lahm and Kimmich and Iniesta, Xavi. He had geniuses on the pitch, and Bernardo has been that at City. And he's had other people alongside him, like, Kevin De Bruyne and Silva in the past. But Pep's got 2 players capable of that at the moment, who are Rodri and Bernardo. I think, we feel that, for many reasons, Rodri's going. I think if Bernardo went as well, I think we would have a major crisis in, I don't know, that we could sign players who could enable Pep to play the tactics he does the complexity he does without a number of years. And I don't think Pep's going to stay around for a number of years of not. Like, I don't think we can challenge for the league next year with Wharton and Elliott if we lose Bernardo and we lose Rodri. I just don't think they'll be. I just don't think.
Big call, Rich.
No, I just don't think they. I think they'll
agree.
take time. No, I think they'll. But do you genuinely think? Do you, no, but we are doing something different. We've had some of the best midfielders.
Really.
Yeah, but there's nothing they've shown
They're playing with better
in
players.
their careers that they're ready to play tactically at that level now.
They're playing with better
I'm not
players.
saying they can't get there, but we are talking about, two of the cleverest players to ever play in the Premier League tactically.
Do you know why I disagree with you, Rich?
Bernardo.
Do you know why I disagree with you? Because I look at the competition around us. Arsenal are not running away with this league. Okay, Arsenal, if we beat them at the Etihad and they draw a game, suddenly we're back on, kind of thing. So Arsenal are not running away with the league. Liverpool are in a mess right now. They've got to bring in new players and they may be bringing in a new manager the way things are going. You look at Chelsea. Chelsea are a basket case of a club. They're quite happy to sell all their big players because they're not really looking to challenge. So you look around our competition. I think we can go into next season. We can get some crucial players come in, and I think we can challenge for the league more than comfortably. You're right about, I think some of these players are going to take time to adapt and come in, but I think with the other experienced players that are still going to be there, do you know what I mean? I think we've got a very
Who in midfield though? Who in midfield? I mean, the thing is, we could well be next season going in. We're not going to have the experienced centre backs we've had because, obviously Guardiola will be back, but you're going to have Kuzanov and Guardiola or Kuzanov and Gay or whatever who aren't experienced.
You've got Diaz and you've got.
I don't think Diaz is. I don't think Diaz is going to be playing.
We're supposed to be in a transitional season, and we're finishing second or first.
I know, but to me, this is the thing. If Bernardo goes and you're bringing in some great pupils for the future, it's a bit like trusting you'll get your A levels, but we're going to sack the teacher
turning around and saying
before we
one
bring the
player.
pupil.
You're turning around and saying one player, and if he goes, if suddenly we're going to collapse and we're not going to challenge. I don't agree with that, Rich.
But it's not one player going. I'm saying that his importance to us, if Rodri and Stones and Ake, it's not just one player going. We know we're losing Rodri, Stones, Ake, Kovacic. 4 of our most experienced players are going this summer. Who've been there.
I think we've lost a lot of players, though. Towards his point, though, Rich, I hear where you're coming from. Because I've had this argument with many Blues and many people at the stadium about Bernardo, how important he is, and people don't see it, and they will when he leaves. Like, I completely understand where you're coming from, mate, and this is the thing. But for me, we have done this a lot recently as well, where we've probably not replaced players in the correct way, and I get maybe that probably maybe a bit of your concern, and I understand that side of it, but what Ozzy's saying is probably in a way, which I'm saying as well, and maybe Governor, is I don't think you're ever going to replace a Bernardo Silva. I just do not think you're ever going to be able to do it. Whether we want to,
we can. Maybe we can't.
That's me. I just think like it's just a simple question, Rich, and this is a simple.
In recent years, it's been a Bernardo. I think.
What we're saying, Rich, is these players that are coming
I'm saying with I don't think Wharton and Elliott without. Yeah, but if you ask me, Wharton, Elliott, Bernardo with them, Bernardo can go and can
in an ideal
teach
world
them on the pitch how to play, can show them how to do
world,
it.
Rich, you keep
That's
Bernardo
got to be better than
for a year extension, and you'd sign an Elliott and a Wharton. Wouldn't you? Let's be honest. In an ideal world. I
think we need to sign 2 or 3 midfielders. I've got no problem with that. But I'm still thinking that Bernardo going will, is a massive risk.
We can't keep
I think Bernardo leave it. I agree with you. As Elliott has said, and
we're losing. We're gonna,
Rich.
Can't keep him
as
Elliott
and Governor have said, and I'm saying, yes, losing Bernardo is going to be a big impact. No one can deny that. I think, as Elliott was saying, he's had arguments with people saying that, once you see Bernardo go, there's going to be a drop-off. No one's denying that. But at some point, it's going to happen. And you have to bring in those players to ultimately try and replace what you're losing.
I agree with that completely. I'm just saying you bring the players in.
You're going to have
You
the
don't
same
kick- you
argument
don't
if
kick
you had a
Bernardo when
12-month
they come in.
extension,
Yeah.
Rich. Aren't you?
Yeah,
You
you
have
are.
the same argument with 12-month extension.
I mean, I'd give him
Yeah.
24 months, but that's beside the point. But yeah, I mean,
I love it, Rich. I absolutely
I'd
love
happily
it.
give him 2
Do-
years. But
Do we
Go on,
think?
Elliot.
Do we think that there's a possibility? And I maybe just throwing this a little bit rogue out there, and it may be a little bit of a wow. That's a bit of a statement. But do you think that there's a possibility that we don't buy Adam Wharton and Anderson, but then we maybe go for a João Neves or a Caicedo and just use that money on Caicedo? I'm not saying that we're struggling financially, because that's not the rumours what have been out there. But I'm just saying, do you think there's any chance that maybe with it being Viana, a different sort of sporting director, different people, we've seen how he deals differently, and he just sort of goes and gets the player, and he seems to have this like sort of backup plan. Do you think there's any chance he maybe just go, what, just go and get Caicedo, go and pay the 115 million,
But I
116 million?
think if we get him, we still need Anderson. I think we still need.
I think we still need two midfielders.
regardless.
I think
Yeah,
you're
that's
right.
what Bernardo
Yeah,
saying. If Bernardo goes, I think we need 3.
But would the club?
I think you're right.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, would the club maybe look at a different position? So maybe just say to O'Reilly, right, you're never going to play left back again, but you're going to play in the middle from now onwards. Do you do that? Do you maybe sign a left back or a full back in that position, try and spin it around that way?
Rich,
I think with Viana.
And he's one of the signings.
He's a sporting director who's going to go out there and try and make the best deals that he can. And we look at the 2 last signings that he brought in January. Those are top players that came in and have made a difference. I think with Viana, he's going to make those decisions where I don't think money is going to be the overall problem. I think it's bringing in the players that we need in is going to be what he's going to be looking at now. So I think signing 2 midfielders in the positions we need is going to do. I think the thing with O'Reilly is that as good as O'Reilly's been, and no one can deny how good he's been, I don't want to rely on a 20-year-old to carry that midfield going forward into the next couple of seasons.
But you are making the one thing the point on Nick O'Reilly is he probably is about the most versatile midfielder in the Premier League. So maybe O'Reilly's our Bernardo, because he's one of the few players who could do what Bernardo does, play 6 fullback.
I'm just throwing it. Yeah, I'm throwing it out there. Maybe it's a bit of a. Yeah, maybe it's a bit of a rogue thing and a rogue shout to say, but I'm just saying, is there a chance where the club maybe go, you know what, just because and I'm not just like throwing this in there either, but like the thing with like Nunes, if just comes in, is he going to see Nunes as an actual right back, which I think ultimately I think he should be, because I think he's been, if not one of maybe the best right back, in the league this season. Yeah. But is there a chance where he puts Nunes in midfield? We just don't know what's coming maybe in like the next couple of months with Pep, and the rumours what are being touted around, and I don't know, like this is the thing, I don't know the way that Viana's going to work and whether he's going to go for a big sign and then just go, you know what, I know the club aren't normally like this, but there you go, 116 million, bang, there you go on the table. Caicedo, 118 million, bang, there you go, 200 million for João Neves. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there as maybe what possibly might happen.
Rich, there's one player that's there that knows Pep's system, who could probably do the Bernardo role, and no one will agree with it, but Rico Lewis.
No, Governor.
No. I thought you were gonna.
I thought that's what he was going to say.
I thought you were going to give me the rebirth of John Stones.
No.
They've invented titanium injections to make your body perfect.
I'm going to completely ignore Governor's point there, because that's not a road I want to go down.
No.
He's way too nice. You can't imagine Rico having a cup of tea and turning his back on the Scousers, can you? Or kicking the ball out of the pitch, 30
it's the
seconds
same
into
size,
a cup final.
same height. He knows Pep's system.
Yeah, I think he's gone in the sun.
Yeah, he's
in
gone.
all honesty, Governor.
He's gone.
To Elliot's point, though, I don't. As good as Nunes has been at right back, I don't think Pep will ever trust him in midfield long term going forward. He's been really good at right back.
Full back than a midfielder.
Yeah,
he's shown he's better at full back than.
I think going forward, I'm not entirely sure we won't look at a right back in the summer, but we'll come to
Yeah.
that when it comes to it in the summer. But I think for midfield, I think that is where we're going to be concentrating the rebuild.
I
most of the
apologise.
summer. All right. On that note, I think we're probably...
but there's a flip of it, and this is the hard part. If Nico G was playing like he was playing the earlier of the season, happy to stay, that's suddenly a midfielder we start. Reinders, if he came good and started playing like he has in patches,
I reckon he will.
That's another midfielder. Foden gets his form back. I mean, we're looking at it now thinking, Gonzalez is going, Reinders isn't making it, Foden's, I think we're looking at it completely empty. But even if Rodri and Kovacic go, O'Reilly, Foden, Reinders, or Gonzalez on form are 4 top midfielders. Now, you probably need 5 or 6 in the Premier League. But, I'd more than anything next season, I'd like to see Nick O'Reilly get a real go in midfield. And I'd like to see Foden back. I'd like to see Foden back to what we know he's capable of. So, and I'd like, because Cherky is so bloody good to watch, Foden's going to have to fit into the midfield, because I think Cherky in some ways.
Them two will be I would put Foden and Cherky rotating in the 10. Depending on
Cherky's just, Cherky just, he's like.
And he can roam as well. He can roam.
Yeah. For me, Cherky's a bit like King Clancy was, just a little breath of magic, and, sometimes they have bad games. No, but he did some outrageous stuff.
Cherky's got to start the rest of the league games, and
Cherky just makes you want to watch football. But
I agree with your point with Foden. Foden needs to get back into this team, because when he's on top form, he's one of the best players in the Premier League. Like, he really is. When he's going back to when he won PFA Player of the Year, we know how good he is. So I do think there's got to be a way for him to get back into this team. So
someone's made a great point, by the way. I don't know whether I've just gone back and looked at the comments, and someone put a great comment in about it could be a thing with João Neves of I think they said Vitinha, if I remember rightly, because of the Portuguese connection, but we normally have with the players. Maybe that's something what the club maybe can look at. I mean, I know you're talking about in coincidentally, Rich, about him leaving Bernardo, but maybe with Bernardo's relationship with Pep, with the club, maybe that might be a thing to maybe look at in the future, that we've sort of got that relationship. I can't imagine Bernardo speaking bad, or even Nunes now, to be fair. I mean, you maybe go back 2 or 3 years ago, I think Nunes might have had a different opinion on Pep and his club than what he has now, but that's just football in general, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah. And who are we going and if Bernardo goes as well, we've got to sign a shithouse too.
Yeah,
because we've got to have someone to do what Bernardo does, because no one else.
Or maybe Cherky's the man. Maybe Cherky's the man.
Cherky does it playing, but he doesn't.
I don't know, Rich. Remember what he did to United fans
and kick it out.
Remember what he did to United fans. So come on.
If we teach him to foul a bit more,
He's still young enough to learn. Let's be honest.
Yeah, because we've got. There's a lot of very nice, like I was watching them, after the game, like Semenyo, Gay, and Docky must be like the 3 nicest young men who ever bloody. We do need some asses in the team. I'm a bit worried. And Donnarumma's, he gets a bit arsy at the ref, but he's so nice. We're getting a lot of very nice players. We do need a couple of pricks.
We had that argument.
Casado would obviously help with that. He gets a red card every game, pretty much, doesn't he?
We did have that argument through the season when we was getting bullied through the midfield, and that was the argument we had through the season about having someone in there. Do you know what I mean? The likes of Spurs, Everton, can't remember who else, who just walked through our midfield, where we're missing.
Newcastle did in the league. The Newcastle bullied us in the league.
Yeah.
But we do need some.
One player we haven't talked about. One player we actually haven't mentioned in that midfield. Reinders.
Well, that's what we did. I just said that a minute ago. If he came good,
I think he's one of the players that it takes you 12 months, takes you a season to get into the.
If he gets the pace of the Premier League, which was the game the other week where he should have scored 5 goals. His running and his into space from midfield was exceptional. He then missed
Finishing,
5
that's
bloody,
it. Yeah.
like a load of sitters, but
Yeah.
his running into that position was Lampard-esque.
The
You know,
problem
it
is,
was
though,
brilliant.
Rich, is that I haven't seen enough consistency to say he's anywhere near getting into being a Premier
Yeah,
League
We
player.
haven't,
he
Ozzy,
just doesn't seem
but
quite tough enough yet.
we did see the glimpse of that first game of the season at Wolves.
Yeah, but
He
that
had
was
an
the first
awesome-
game of the
and
season.
then we've not seen it
couldn't
since.
Yeah, the thing for me is that I've been looking in all season, and I've been hoping and praying that he would eventually get to some sort of speed, and he, at least towards the end of the season, you may start seeing a few more glimpses.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeing it. In all honesty,
Governor.
I really am not.
Governor, you know what we're going to have to do if Bernardo goes? We're going to have to get Billy Whitehurst into the coaching staff.
Billy White.
Get him in. I mean, get him in. Toughen the players up a bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The old
you know,
slapping it around.
Luckily, you know, our manager's capable of being the biggest arse in the league and get booked or sent off every second game.
Yeah.
So at least he's, you know, proving a true shithouse, even if but yeah, we need. So I hope that's on the list when Viana's signing. You know, what characteristics do we need? Classy
Shithouse.
midfielder, shithouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In brackets.
Someone who really hates losing, someone who knows how to get under the opposition players and fans' skin. We
There's not many
we
around
do
now, is
need
there?
that.
There's not many around.
No. The Scousers managed to have about 10 of them in their team most weeks. But Arsenal have got a lot of arses in their team.
I'll
to
tell
be
you
fair.
who never gets a met, who I've been watching, and I think he's a really good player. That's Scott from Bournemouth in the midfield. I think he's a great baller.
Yeah, the one from Bristol
But
City.
He'll never
He's
get
the
mentioned.
he was the one who was the new Jack Grealish when he came
He's
through.
got the headband, you know.
Yeah. The other
Great
player I
baller.
love in the Premier League, I don't think he's quite City's level, but
No,
I've loved this season Harry Wilson
I
at
like
Fulham.
watching him.
I think Harry
Oh,
Wilson.
hang
at
on,
Fulham-
hang on. Someone's decided to join us.
Yeah.
Here he is.
It's because he heard our midfielder's going to be Scott and Wilson next season.
I'm supporting someone else now, Rich. I've had enough.
Yeah.
Afternoon,
everyone's
Tone.
Afternoon. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, mate.
Good. I've gone
How you
for a
doing?
stroll. I'm in work, but I just thought I'd go out for a bit. Everyone's panicking and getting bloody messages galore. It's bloody gone nuts.
Is that just from Martin?
Yeah. Well, that's bloody standard from him. 24/7. And I know he's watching now. Look, you know, my view on it is no one's bigger than the club. You know, if he goes, he goes. The comments aren't great. But I don't know, I'm quite at ease with it. I don't think there's anything major or surprising there, is there? I think we all knew.
Tone, we've been talking
There was
about
a decent chance.
Bernardo going for the last hour. You know, Rodri, old news.
Oh.
It's Bernardo
Yeah,
we're worried about.
Oh,
Keep up current events, Tone.
bloody hell. Well, Roger, Bernardo, yeah, I mean, he's going, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm not someone who sort of overly panics, and I'm not that tied to any player. I'm more tied to Pep. If he goes, then I'll be miffed, which he might as well. So, look, you know, bit of an overhaul, bit of a change up. It's exciting. Love a bit of change. Why not?
Yeah, we've got Maresco coming in with Casado. We've already decided. And then we're going to get Camavinga in part exchange for Rodri, and Bernardo staying whether he likes it or not.
Rich is just going to chain him to the Etihad.
Yeah. No,
as
seriously,
well as John Stones as well.
I can't have. I'm if Stones and Bernardo both go in the same season, I'm bloody. It's just,
He's going back to
Not having it.
United.
I'm not having it. Yeah.
Well, it could be Rodri, Burn,
Division
Pep,
1.
Stones, Ake. Bloody hell. Yeah, now I'm panicking
Yeah.
a little. Now I might be. Now I've just bloody listed them all.
I'll be sadder when Stones goes than when Pep goes, and I'll be sadder when
Oh,
Bernardo
really?
goes than any of the others. Yeah.
Have you not
Yeah.
listened to Rich Tone about his?
Yeah.
He's loving with
It's
Stones.
David
I know he
David
loves
Silva, David Silva, Bernardo Silva, John Stones. They're just.
But it's going to be his last World Cup anyway, isn't it?
I just love him. Whereas
If he makes
Pep,
it.
I respect Pep, but
Yeah.
I don't love Pep like Bernardo or David Silva or Johnny Stones. You know,
I still don't
Tom,
believe that Pep
ask you a
going.
question. What do you think about Bernardo? Would you get rid of him?
Yeah, I think time's right for Burnley to move on. I think the midfield needs an overhaul, mate. I think if my view on Rodri as well would be, to answer your question, yes, for Bernardo. And if Rodri's head's been turned the way it has been, you don't hang on to him for the last year. You get rid now, move him on, and onwards and upwards. No player's bigger than the club, and
That's
we'll
right.
survive. We have done before when Aguero left, Silva left. It was, oh my
agree.
God, are we ever gonna? And then so on. So,
That's right.
yeah, he can go overhaul the midfield, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
well, we'll be needing
I'll
to
be
save a
honest,
bit of money in the Championship anyway, so it's probably good to
I'm
get a
more-
few of our high earners off the books.
I'm more worried about these grey hairs coming than I am Rodri going, to be honest. Just
We'll never
concealing
get
the
rid
camera.
of them. So never get rid of them.
Yeah. And
Just
for
imagine we
men
could be
that.
playing Spurs.
Yeah, and if Oxford,
imagine that.
Oxford how good would that be if Oxford stay up with their run started, Oxford, Spurs, and City all together, playing
Lovely,
in consecutive weeks, and I can fly over for City, Spurs, City, Oxford, Spurs,
Yeah.
Oxford. Oh, no good.
Tell you what, we're on the Rodri one about not wanting him to go, but if he wants to go, get rid. Always had that same, whether it's Pep, any player, Kevin De Bruyne, anybody, you want to go, you go. You never hang on.
I don't care where they
who
go.
they are.
Have you got an issue in going to Madrid, though, Tone? I have not. I don't care.
And not from City's point of view. Why would City care?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that every ounce of respect I ever had for him is gone if he goes to Madrid.
I know what you're saying.
But other than that, Rich, you're not bothered, yeah?
Like for City's point of view, if Madrid offer more than anyone else, it's in City's interest to sell him to whoever offers the most money. But he'll be ranked somewhere between Tevez and Adam Johnson in my City player rankings if he goes to Real Madrid.
That's bad.
I don't care where he goes. It is no inch. Once he doesn't play for City, tell us where anyone plays.
I'm with you.
No, but if you ever respect a human being, if a human being can go to a club that treated him like Madrid did, then he's got zero. After the Ballon d'Or, that was one of the most despicable, unsporting, disgusting bits of behaviour I've seen in football in 50 years. It was awful. And if he went there after they did that to him, then I can't respect him as a human being.
I think what it's getting to so many City fans is you only have to go back to that banner that City fans have made of Vinicius Junior crying because he hadn't won the Ballon d'Or because Rodri had. I think City fans are so pissed off. We've defended Rodri, we've backed him to the hill, and then for him to start flirting with Real Madrid, I think that's why it sticks into the core of most City fans.
You've got a point.
Yeah, I think. I think you've put that well, Ozzy.
Yeah.
I get why people are pissed off. I've got people in my chat saying he's disrespectful. I totally get it. And I'm the same. But I'm always on the side of, I'm not going to get pissed off. If you go, sod off, we'll go and get,
it's disrespecting himself and the club.
Move on. And get Anderson and whoever else who want him, Tonali and so on. It's what it is.
It took
Scott,
Ozzy
Scott and Harry
minutes.
Wilson. Yeah.
It took Ozzy 5 minutes to explain what you've been talking about for half an hour, Rich.
He's done you there, don't you?
That's because he's not as emotional.
Right, I've got to go, lads. But thank you for having me on.
I'm ranting.
Always,
I think
mate,
I might
always
go
a
to
pleasure.
bed actually.
I think we will wrap
midnight, and
we'll wrap it up. But thank you to everyone who's joined us this morning and now into this afternoon. We've been going that long. See you later, mate. Thanks, Governor, for joining us. Thanks, Elliot. Obviously, Martin as well. Rich, thank you to everyone. Please hit the like button before you leave. And obviously, you haven't subscribe as well. As Tone was just saying, he'll be back on tomorrow's show with Martin and Big Steve. That's going to go live. at God, I forget the time. I think it's 2:00 or something like that. Could be wrong, but anyway, watch out for the socials on that. And yeah, really good, interesting debates here. I think, as I said, I think most City fans are peed off because of the way he's behaved and the way he's flirted with Real Madrid after we've backed him and stuff like that. So I think it's sad, but if he goes, he goes, and ultimately we will replace him. You know, maybe not be a direct replacement, but we will rebuild that midfield going forward. So yeah. Again, thank you to everyone, and yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Take care. Take care, lads.
Okay. Cheers.
Take care.
See you later.